Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're cracking open the playbook for the NMAT 2026. If you're targeting those elite business schools, you already know this exam. But here's the thing. The NMAT isn't just some standard test of what you know. Actually, it's more like a high-stakes psychological hurdle. It's this complex system that demands serious strategy, pacing, and precision over just sheer brute force problem solving. So, grab your notepads, because we're about to decode the machine.
Now, there's a super common question floating around MBA prep circles right now. Is the NMAT really just cat light? Like, is it just this easier, friendly alternative to the grueling common admission test? Well, let me just stop you right there. Treating the NMAT like a casual, lower-stakes warm-up, that is literally the quickest way to totally tank your score. To help you strategically master this exam's unique algorithms and those tricky administrative hurdles, here's our playbook for today. We'll kick things off with the friendly exam myth, unpack the 209 versus 232 anomaly, and then hunt down the ghost in the machine. After that, we're going to cover the 3-minute strategy, the 3-attempt trap, and wrap it all up with the 2026 target playbook. All right, let's dive right into section 1, the friendly exam myth, because approachable definitely does not mean easy. See, the NMAT boasts this wide, super flexible testing window. Specifically, for the 2026 cycle, that window spans from November 2nd all the way to December 20th. Plus, there is absolutely no negative marking. Sounds incredibly friendly, right? But confusing an approachable format with an easy exam is a massive mistake. The intellectual muscle you need for the NMAT is fundamentally different from the CAT. The CAT tests deep, multi-concept thinking, giving you 120 minutes to solve 68 questions. But the NMAT? It is a ruthless test of extreme speed. You have to blast through 108 questions in those exact same 120 minutes. To put that into perspective, that breaks down to roughly 1.4 minutes per quantitative question and a blistering 45 seconds for language skills. I mean, imagine staring down the clock with literally 45 seconds to comprehend an entire passage and make a choice. It's intense.
And because there's no negative penalty, we arrive at the absolute golden rule of the NMAT. Never leave a question unattempted. If you're staring at a problem, the timer hits 60 seconds and you're just completely stuck, you have to make a considered guess and move on immediately. Hesitation here will kill your pacing and honestly ruin your entire section.
Moving on to section 2, the 209 versus 232 anomaly. Let's talk about why a call isn't actually a seat. This brings us to what is probably the most dangerous deception of the 2026 admission cycle. Currently, NMIMS has set a unified official call cutoff of 209 across all its campuses. Now, on paper, snagging a 209 feels like a massive victory. It gets you a shortlist for the competency assessment and personal interview. But here's the crucial point. NMIMS is a private university operating on a strict open merit system, no caste-based reservations at all. You're swimming in a pure performance pool. So 209 gets you in the door, sure, but treating it as your finish line, that's a huge strategic trap. Because here is the harsh reality of conversion. To actually convert that shortlist call into a guaranteed merit seat at the flagship Mumbai campus, you've got to target a baseline score of 232 or higher. A 209 might grant you a polite interview, but without a massive elite score like 232 to buffer your overall profile, that final seat is almost certainly going to go to someone who treated this higher number as their true target all along.
Okay, section 3, the ghost in the machine. We need to talk about navigating the computer adaptive format.
So the NMAT isn't some static paper exam. It uses a unique adaptive algorithm. Basically, a literal ghost in the machine that adjusts question difficulty in real time. It scales your ability on a range of 12 to 120 per section. Now, because of this adaptive nature, early errors actually cap your maximum possible score, since the machine is calibrating your level right out of the gate. Oh, and you have no skip or review functions. You literally must answer in sequence. And thanks to scaled scoring, nailing 20 hard questions yields a much better score than getting 25 easy ones right. So what's the insider secret here? Accuracy on your first 10 to 12 questions is absolutely critical. If you stumble early, the algorithm might never unlock those higher difficulty, higher value questions, effectively putting a hard ceiling on your score before you really even hit your stride. Which leads us nicely into section 4, the 3-minute strategy. This is where strategy really trumps skill. Unlike the CAT, where the section order is totally fixed for you, the NMAT gives you this crucial 3-minute window right at the start of the exam to lock in your own flow. We highly, highly recommend what we call the strategist sorter. Step 1. Start with logical reasoning. You get 40 minutes for 36 questions. It acts as a sort of scoring padding to help you build confidence and momentum right out of the gate. Step 2. Tackle language skills. That's 36 questions in a brutally tight 28 minutes. And finally, Step 3. Finish with quantitative skills. 36 questions in 52 minutes. By leaving quant for last, you're placing the most challenging, time-consuming gatekeeper section at the very end. That maximizes your score potential and your brain power in the earlier sections when you're still fresh.
All right, Section 5, the 3-attempt trap. Let's look at the fine print. So GMAC allows you the grace of taking the NMAT up to 3 times. But leaning on this safety net can be incredibly misleading. Why? Because NMIMS Mumbai only accepts the score from your first attempt. Yeah, you heard that right. If you go into your first attempt underprepared, kind of thinking of it as a mere practice run to test the waters, and you tank it, the flagship Mumbai campus is completely off the table. Even if you come back and score a massive 250 on your second try, Mumbai will simply not accept it.
However, the rules of the game completely change depending on where you apply. XIMB, for example, actually accepts scores from your later attempts, giving you that cushion to try again. Plus, unlike NMIS's open merit system, XIMB includes domicile, specifically for Odisha, and caste-based reservations. This introduces entirely different nuances for eligibility and cutoffs. So long story short, it is absolutely vital to read the fine print for your specific target schools. And finally, we arrive at Section 6, the 2026 Target Playbook. This is your safe target checklist. Now, early week testers for 2026 are showing higher accuracy, which means the competitive floor is rapidly rising. To secure your spot in that elite tier, these are the concrete target scores you really need to lock into your brain. You want an overall score of 235 or higher for the elite tier, or at least the 216 plus, just to be safe. Breaking it down section by section, you're targeting roughly an 87 skilled score in logical reasoning, an 85 in quantitative skills, and an 84 in language skills. And honestly, the great thing about this system is you won't be left waiting in suspense for weeks. Your score is typically available on your dashboard within 48 hours. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final, provocative thought for your prep. The NMAT isn't just an exam. It is a test of your ability to manage a relentless, high-speed machine. In an adaptive environment where speed is king and every single question calibrates your fate, ask yourself, are you practicing to solve the hardest problems? Or are you practicing to never slow down?